Good morning, Dundalk Middle School. This is Melina.
I'm Riley.
Bringing you your morning announcements.
On WDMS News.
Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2016, B-Day. Today in history.
Here's a look at this day in history. January 21st.
In 1924, Vladimir Lenin, the Bolshevik revolution leader who brought communist rule to Russia, died at the age of 54. On this day in 1954, the world's first nuclear-powered submarine was launched by the U.S. Navy. The Nautilus was also the largest, 97 meters long. In 2004, the record industry sued computer users it claimed were illegally distributing music over the internet. And on this day in 1977, President Jimmy Carter pardoned American draft evaders. Many young men who opposed the Vietnam War either did not register for the draft or fled to Canada. In order to put the war behind this and begin a cultural reconciliation, Carter made good in his campaign promise and granted an unconditional pardon. And that's this day in history.
Please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance to the DMS Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am safe, I am respectful, and I am responsible at Dundalk Middle School and in my community.
Please be seated.
Today's math problem is the topic. It's Melina, not me.
Find the perimeter of the square in parallelogram in the figure below. Ask your teacher if you can solve it.
Now here's Destiny with today's weather.
It was 20 degrees this morning. It will be mostly sunny today with a high of 37 degrees. Looking ahead, we can expect snow to begin falling late tomorrow afternoon. Blizzard conditions can be expected with heavy snow and winds blowing 30 miles per hour. The wind gusts can even reach up to 60 miles per hour. By the time this storm leaves Baltimore, we could see from 1 to 2 feet of snow. Stay safe. Now back to Riley and Melina.
Thank you, Destiny. Now for the word of the day. The topic for this week's words of the day is perplex. Today our word is perplex. I need help with the fourth math problem. It perplexes me. It perplexes me. That's the end of the sentence. Can you determine what perplex means? Once again, today's word of the day is perplex.
Miss Stinthorn's AVID classes should report to the library today. And Miss Rivera's Mod 1, 3, and 4, 5 classes will meet in the library lab today.
Please notice the change in today's schedule. Homework club is canceled this afternoon. Words of wisdom. Good morning, Dundalk Middle School. This is Riley with a few words of wisdom. Dr. Edith Irby Jones is the real trailblazer of the medical profession. She is the first African American to graduate from the University of Arkansas, the School of Medicine, and the first woman to head the 92-year-old National Medical Association. She is a person of great energy and vision, and what she has to say to us today, so listen up. Each day is an adventure, for I am propelled by the deep sense of fulfillment I get when helping others improve their lives. Every day we are presented with opportunities to help others. It may be as simple as giving someone encouragement in class, or giving her a hug, or giving a smile to her through a difficult time. Helping others is an important part of this adventure we call life. Today, remember that when we help others, we are helping ourselves. With something to think about, this is Riley. Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. Now here's Mr. Barish.
Morning, Team DMS. I have several announcements for you this morning. One reminder, we have a basketball game against General John Stricker. The doors will open at 3:30 for the boys to play at 4, and the girls will play following at 5 o'clock. Any student who wants to stay after for the game needs to report to the cafeteria after school. Thank you, and go Owls. And for students who decide that they're going to go home and come back, again, the doors will open at 3:30. So students, you have a choice of staying after and being involved in an extracurricular activity, staying in the cafeteria, waiting and doing your homework, or you have the other option of going home and coming back at 3:30. But again, you can't just hang out at school. We have to make sure that you are supervised. And again, go Owls. We want to make sure DMS, you bring your Owl pride to the game, and we get a victory for our boys and the girls basketball team. A couple other announcements I want to share with you, students. One is this: tomorrow in homeroom, you're going to be receiving a letter for you and for you to take home to your parent, but I wanted you to hear it from me first. During the month of February, we are going to have at Dundalk Middle School what's called an associate principal. And the associate principal, his name is Mr. Robinson. He's going to be coming to us from Woodlawn Middle School. And the role of the associate principal will be to take assistant principals who have been identified by the assistant superintendent and give them leadership opportunities. So Mr. Robinson will be shadowing me, working with me for the first 2 weeks of February. And in the second 2 weeks of February, the last 2 weeks of February, Mr. Robinson will be the associate principal at Dundalk Middle School. And for those 2 weeks, I will not be at Dundalk Middle School. So it's an opportunity for our Baltimore County Team BCPS to build leadership capacity. So you are going to be getting a letter tomorrow that's going to go home to your parents. And I'm also going to call parents with a Connect Ed call, inform them for tomorrow too about the letter. But I wanted you to hear it from me first before you hear it from or look at a letter. So again, next month, just to recap that, during the month of February, for 4 weeks, there's going to be an associate principal here at Dundalk Middle School, Mr. Robinson, currently an assistant principal at Woodlawn Middle School. For 2 weeks, he is going to be shadowing me, getting an opportunity to meet you as the students, getting an opportunity to meet with parents, meet with teachers, be part of our school community. And for the last 2 weeks of February, he is going to be in the associate principal role as an associate principal. And for those 2 weeks, he will be, again, the associate principal, and I will be not in the building. I will come back right after the 2 weeks is over, and I'm going to miss all the students and staff and parents and community during those 2 weeks, but I know you will do a great job with Mr. Robinson and give him a warm welcome when he comes in February. Again, this is again to promote leadership capacity within the school system, and I'm excited for the opportunity for Mr. Robinson to learn with us, learn from you, and also during those 2 weeks, again, I'll be working with our elementary feeder schools. I'll be going on some recruiting trips to try to get to bring new teachers who are going to be great for Dundalk Middle School, and also work with the assistant superintendent. So I wanted you to hear that from me first, students. I'm going to have a tough time not coming in every single day and seeing all the smiling faces, but I'm sure I'll be in contact with some of our staff and also some administrators, and I will be back. I promise. I will be back. The other announcement I wanted to make is a MAP challenge. We have a MAP Super Fun Day because MAP's going to be coming up next week, but I'm going to throw another challenge at you. I'm going to ask you to tell your team leader. So in 6th grade, it's you can tell one of your team leaders. You don't tell both of them. You can either tell Miss Denshorn or Miss Davis. In 7th grade, Mr. Merlette, Miss Foote. In 8th grade, Miss Cabezas or Miss Bullock. You can tell them at lunch or tell them in one of their classes. I'm going to put out there a principal MAP challenge. If we're able to make our goals in math and reading, not just as your individual, but as the school, I'm going to get feedback from what the students share with their team leaders as to one of these 3 principal challenges. If all of our students as a whole, if we hit our average of 65% in ELA and reading, 65% of our students hit their targets, and 60% in math, if we hit those targets school-wide, here's the challenge. 1, students will get to pie me in the face, which I'm sure you'd like to do. Another option, 2, during lunch, I'll come to the lunch shifts, and there'll be some students who will be able to cut one of my ties. Option 2. Option 3, based on students, will be if we're able to hit those targets in math and reading, you'll send your principal to the roof for the day, and I'll spend the day on the roof at Dundalk Middle School. So I ask you students to give your team leaders which of the 3 you would like for the challenge, and I'm challenging you. So again, Team DMS, I expect you to accept this challenge and hit your goals, and if you hit your goals, at the 60% of our students hit their math growth rate, I want 100%, but if we hit at least 60 and we hit 65 in reading, you're either going to pie me in the face, you're going to cut my tie, or option 3, you're going to send your principal to the roof for the day, literally speaking. So let your team leaders know I'm excited to challenge you, and I know you're going to accept the challenge because anytime I challenge you, you guys step up because you're a wonderful group of students. This concludes my announcements. Let's have a wonderful day. Remember, we are on a special schedule, and remember, my goal is to make sure every child in this building is going to be a globally competitive graduate. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm.
This is Melina.
And Riley.
Have a thoroughly fun Thursday.